Fear. It's something we all face, something we all experience at some point in our lives. But what if I told you that the fear you feel is not what it seems? That the monsters you believe lurk in your subconscious are not the real enemy. In fact, they may be the key to unlocking your true potential. Carl Jung, the father of depth psychology, taught us a profound truth about fear. It's not an external force trying to destroy you, but an internal guide that shows you what needs to be transformed. In today's video, we're going to uncover Jung's powerful truth about fear and why it's not the obstacle we think it is. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why your fears are not your enemies, but hidden gateways to your personal growth and transformation. Let's take a moment to understand fear from a psychological standpoint. Fear, in its most basic form, is an emotion, but it's also a warning signal. Our bodies, minds, and hearts are wired to protect us from danger. This is where fear originates, from the need for survival. However, in modern life, the fears we experience are no longer about physical survival. They're often tied to our mental and emotional well-being. Fears of failure, rejection, inadequacy, and even the fear of success. Jung believed that fear is an expression of the unconscious mind. What does this mean? It means that what we fear is often a reflection of something within us that is yet to be acknowledged or integrated. Our unconscious mind holds aspects of ourselves that we have repressed or denied our shadow. Fear often arises when we are confronted with parts of ourselves that we haven't faced or understood. Now, let's dive into one of Jung's most profound teachings, the concept of the shadow. The shadow is the part of our unconscious mind that holds the traits, desires, and aspects of our personality that we reject or are ashamed of. These are the parts of ourselves that we refuse to acknowledge because we see them as unacceptable. But Jung's truth is simple yet powerful. Our shadow holds the keys to our growth and transformation, and often, the fears we face are a reflection of the shadow. These fears are not random. They are the unconscious mind's way of pointing us towards something we need to integrate into our conscious awareness. So, let's think for a moment. If you fear failure, could it be that the unconscious mind is showing you your self-doubt or your fear of inadequacy? If you fear rejection, could it be because the shadow holds your fear of not being enough? Jung believed that facing the shadow is the path to personal growth. And this is where the fear you experience can actually guide you. So how do we reframe fear? How do we stop seeing it as a threat and start seeing it as a teacher? The first step is to recognize that fear is often a sign of something important. When you feel that intense emotional response, whether it's fear of rejection, failure, or even success, it's a sign that something within you needs attention. Instead of running from fear, lean into it. Here's how to do that. Step 1. Acknowledge the fear. Don't dismiss it or suppress it. Fear is a signal from your unconscious mind that there's something you need to face. Step 2. Ask yourself, what is this fear telling me about myself? Is it pointing to a part of you that needs to be healed, integrated, or understood? Step 3. Embrace the fear and the parts of yourself it reveals. Instead of seeing your fear as an obstacle, view it as a doorway to deeper self-awareness and growth. Carl Jung said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." This is where the real power lies. In understanding that what you fear is actually the key to unlocking the next level of your life. Let's take a look at some real-life examples. Think about public speaking. For many people, the fear of speaking in front of an audience is one of the most common fears. But why do we fear it? Is it because the audience will judge us, or because we're afraid of failing in front of others? Jung would argue that the fear of public speaking could stem from a fear of rejection or failure, which may point to a deeper issue in the shadow, such as self-doubt or a fear of inadequacy. By facing this fear, you have the opportunity to integrate these hidden parts of yourself, build confidence, and ultimately overcome the fear. Another example is the fear of success. This might seem strange, but many people secretly fear succeeding. Why? Perhaps it's the fear of change, of no longer being in control, or even the fear of the responsibilities that come with success. Jung believed that our unconscious mind often holds us back from success because we haven't fully embraced our own potential. By confronting these fears, we have the opportunity to transform our mindset, embrace our shadow, and move forward into a more empowered version of ourselves. So, how can you begin to work with your fear and transform it? Here are some practical steps you can take. Self-awareness. Start by becoming aware of the fears you're experiencing. Don't just push them aside. Take note of the fears that trigger strong emotional reactions in you. Self-inquiry. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of, and why? What part of me is trying to protect me? Get curious about the source of your fear. Journaling. Use Jung's method of journaling. Write down your thoughts, feelings, and dreams. This will help you uncover the unconscious parts of yourself that you're avoiding. Shadow work. As Jung taught, confront your shadow. Look at the parts of yourself that you fear and reject. See how these aspects might be linked to your fear. Action. Take small steps toward what you fear. If you fear public speaking, start with a small group. If you fear rejection, start by accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. Every small step brings you closer to embracing your whole self. Remember, fear is not the enemy. It is a teacher, a guide that points us to the areas of our lives where we need growth and healing. By embracing our fears and understanding their root causes, we begin to integrate the shadow, the hidden aspects of ourselves that hold the keys to our true potential. Carl Jung said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." By facing your fears, you take one step closer to becoming the person you were always meant to be. So, the next time fear shows up in your life, ask yourself, what is this fear trying to teach me? And remember, the greatest growth often happens when you step into what you fear the most. Thank you for joining me on this journey into Jungian psychology and the power of fear. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with others who may be ready to face their own fears. And remember, you are not your fears. You are what you choose to become.